Are you ready?
Yeah, turn up the heat.
Are you ready?
Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello and welcome to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie and with me as always.
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
And let me be the first on the show to wish you a top of the morning.
It's always morning if you're a drunk.
That's right. It's St. Patrick's Day, and we are one of the few brave shows that was, no offense to Unlocked Radio, but we're smart enough to not take off Monday, but take off Tuesday, because that's the day you'll be hungover. Remember, as always, you can call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. And as always, you can find us on Twitter at high_on_sports. I'm at eRalphieW. He is at Von Erich.
That's me.
That's right. And she is, again, still not tweeting.
Yeah.
She's so far from Twitter, you're not even, like, using internet right now. You're like, regressing further and further
She's
back.
off the grid.
Yep.
Exactly. So
Just
they can't
sign up
find
to
her.
Twitter.
I signed up.
She's there.
Link
Yeah,
your
that's-
Facebook to Twitter.
She's at something or other.
I don't even remember what
She
it
doesn't
is.
even remember what it is.
We created it, and then before I could send out a tweet, my computer froze, and I'm like, that's a
messed up.
sign. I have no business being on Twitter.
Then anytime you post something on Facebook, it goes to Twitter.
Yeah, you can just do that. You gotta limit your characters and be, I keep always character count constantly. As I'm
Cares
spelling
what a
every word.
character
1,
counts.
2, 3, everything, even in
You got to
speech.
keep it short and precise.
Even when I'm
Just let
talking.
him click on the link and we'll read the rest.
And remember, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/high-on-sports. Go ahead and give it a like if you haven't already. And we have a website, highonsports.net. It's the place for the archive of all our past shows. Mark's blog and a bunch of other fun stuff. Mark's latest blog is about Chief Wahoo. Go ahead and check that out right now while you're still listening to the show. Again, that is highonsports.net. All right, we got a jam-packed show for you. It is round one. Let's go. All right, obviously, place to start is pretty clear this week. It's March Madness, and the madness is infectious. I can tell you one of the most Googled things right now is just a bunch of different college basketball teams to find out who's on them and what they've done so people can accurately fill out their brackets for work pools. This is the time now. This is college basketball's time. I'm sorry, college basketball. This is your time now. Everything leading up to this, it's for God's sakes, your season ends with a tournament that makes the rest of your season seem like it's unimportant, and then that's followed by a tournament. They just don't want the regular season to even happen, really, at this point. Every year should just start with the conference tournaments, and then that goes into March Madness. It would save everybody a lot of time, and there'd be a lot more betting going on. Let's look at the bracket here, though. Kind of a weird bunch of number one seeds. Florida was the obvious one, but other than that, it's a little weak on top. Honestly, being one of the few people that actually watched some games, I can tell you it's kind of strange to me. I mean, well, not strange because they're all right. They don't seem like ones. There's some situations in this bracket where lower seeds seem better than the top seeds, but that's good. That's a good thing, though, honestly, for people like me that like to see an upset, like to see some chaos go on in these things, and doesn't want $1 billion from Warren Buffett. Which, by the way, we were talking about that. Everybody out there, you are stupid if you don't submit one. You are absolutely stupid if you don't send one of those.
Because it'll take you 10 minutes to fill it out. And you have a chance at $1 billion. Yes, it's a 1 in a trillion chance, because I don't know if in the history of March Madness if anyone's ever got a bracket perfect.
Let me tell you something. I know my bracket's wrong. I know that. I know there's.
I'm still
I know
submitting
it's not
it.
perfect, but what if it's perfect?
If,
did you ever think about that?
what if it is? It ain't gonna hurt you to try.
It's $1 billion. If it doesn't cost anything to,
Yeah, it's not like the Ohio lottery. You're gonna suck $1 out of your pocket.
Exactly.
It's free.
Exactly.
You enter for free, so it's costing you nothing. And they're just gonna hand you $1 billion.
Warren Buffett, he won't even notice. If he drops $1 billion, it's not worth his time to pick it up. That's not true. That's not true for anyone. $1 billion is still. He's worth like $60 billion. But I've heard that. By the way, about Bill Gates, though. Not $1 billion, but 100. that if he actually dropped a $100 bill, it like would not be worth his time to stop and bend over and pick up a $100
really
bill.
wouldn't.
Based on how much he, makes and has versus, equated out to time and stuff like that. Like, it's not worth him financially to be, like, it's be more worth him to be like, oh, well, all right, bye. Like, like most people are like, I dropped a penny. Well, I don't care, but.
Shit, I'm like, oh shit, I chopped a penny.
Yeah, I'm like, nobody touched that freaking penny. That's mine. You saw it fall out of my hand. Don't even try. No, but I have a really good feeling about my bracket this year, just as I had a really good feeling about my bracket last year, just as I had a really good feeling the year before. So all that amounts to not much. I'll share, you know what? Well, I'll share my top 4 in a minute here. My top 4. Wow, I sound like a moron. Final 4. Sorry, I'm drunk. It's St. Patrick's Day. Anyways, I'm not really drunk, but this is how I do it every year. I do 3 brackets every year. I do 3 brackets because everybody's got all these strategies. Like people joke around. They're like, oh, I do this. I'll just flip a coin for everything. Well, I do flip a coin for everything. No talk, just flipping. That's what I do. I have a real bracket where I put my legitimate analysis, where I overanalyze every pick and overthink every situation and wind up being terribly wrong. I have one of those like everybody else does. But I do a coin flip bracket, and I do my personal favorite bracket where I sit down with a jury of my peers and we debate and discuss who would win if the team mascots or team names fought each other. I.e., just a matchup here is Syracuse Orange versus the Western Michigan, what are they, like Broncos? Like some kind of horse or something? Yeah, like a Broncos. Who would win if an orange were to, square off with a Bronco? Clearly, the Bronco, because the orange doesn't, it's not a sentient being.
Quite a difference from an orange man.
That's
which
true.
Would be like some dude on the Jersey Shore.
I could have counted that. See, there's a lot of debate here. Dayton Flyers. Is that like a guy who flies? Is that like a piece of paper advertising a company's service? There's a lot of wiggle room, and that's why it has to be. That's why it has to be, a group sitting down, a panel of just thinkers, just analyzing and finding truth. Anyways, this is my coin flip bracket. We'll start with that one. My coin flip bracket, it is exactly what it sounds like. I look at every matchup. Here's a matchup. I go VCU versus Santa Fe Austin. Or SF Austin. That's what? Some of these schools, they just confuse me. Anyways, VCU versus SF Austin, and heads is VCU and tails is SF Austin, and you flip a coin, and I got heads, and it's VCU. And because I'm not a barbarian, I do use a coin flip app. Because I'm not going to flip a coin up into the air and lose it like 60 million times.
Have it fall to the ground and roll underneath some piece of furniture.
Exactly. No thanks. Has anyone actually ever been able to like flip a coin well? I've seen it on TV
flip
and
it
stuff.
And you catch it.
Like I flip it, then I'm like, oh, like it turns into like catching a fly ball.
Well, you don't flip it like super high.
I clearly have no control over what I'm doing.
Boop.
Every time
drop it on your hand.
Flip it up in the air, and
Bing,
suddenly I'm
boop,
like
boop.
out in left field trying to catch a fly ball.
We're going to save that for the High on Sports Olympics.
Exactly.
Hey.
Flipping a coin. Let's do that. Just terrible things. Just things that require minimum to none athleticism.
Throwing the paper ball into a trash can.
Technically a sport.
Oh, God. That would be perfect. Oh, look at this.
Oh, there we go.
We have our brackets. They just came in. Our official
I need a writing utensil.
Sports bracket.
Here, you can take mine.
And we are going to hand those to you
Don't
two.
you need a writing utensil?
And you two.
I'm sure I can find another one.
You two are gonna get cracking on those, and if we have time, we'll let the listeners know your final four so they can stack up against mine. But here we go, my coin flip bracket. Right out of the gate, there's a problem because going all the way to the final four is the
utensils.
16 seed play-in.
You can have your nice pen back.
Meaning I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's. I don't even know these two schools. I'll be honest, but they're
well, I didn't want to end up keeping it because that's what I would do. I'd walk home with it, and then I'd be like, "Oh crap, I stole Von Erich's pen." Anywho, go on.
Anyway, I'm sure we can find out. You have a pen. We got you a pen. It's all taken care of. Perfect. Anyways, I have the 16 overall seed play-in game, making it all the way to the Final Four in my coin flip bracket. So that one's a little confusing. I also
Doesn't that happen every year with your bracket?
It does. I swear,
usually
somebody
does.
low always makes it all the
It
way.
usually does. Somebody gets hot. They start getting lucky. They start
law
getting
of
heads,
averages.
heads. Eventually, somebody makes a run. Iowa State, a 3 seed. I have duking off with them. I don't have Duke. I don't know why I said Duke. But Baylor, I have the 6 seed coming into the Final Four. And unfortunately, I have Michigan, the 2 seed. The coin likes Michigan. The coin actually likes
Get a
Michigan.
new coin.
The coin actually likes Michigan enough to put them into the national championship for the second year in a row. But the coin also thinks that for the second year in a row, Michigan will lose. They will come up short to a team to be announced later because the 16 seed made it all the way to national champion. The 16 of Jesus Christ, I don't even know who this is. I'm gonna love with you. I don't even know based on these names. It's UA and MS Mary. I couldn't even tell you. I looked it up earlier and I knew about them earlier, but that was earlier and this is now. But I have them as your national champion in the coin flip bracket. The coin has spoken. Let's move over to my mascot bracket. This one got really, really tough. A couple of heartbreaks to highlight. I have the Buckeyes losing in the opening round to Dayton because in my interpretation, a flyer was a person who flies a plane, sort of like a biplane or something like that, and I had them versus a nut.
You want to know how you take that person flying the plane down?
They choke on it.
You throw a bunch at them, you hit them in the head, they crash. Boom,
We're going
game over.
Singular Buckeye versus a singular flyer. That was a big thing.
You gotta have
'Cause
good
there was-
aim. Crack them right in the eyeball.
There was at one point there was a wolf pack versus musketeers, and I figured we had to boil that down to its basic elements of one wolf versus one musketeer.
Well, if it's a wolf
And-
pack, it's a pack.
I don't know, but this is the musketeers. Wolf pack of wolves. Musketeers. It's one musketeer. I mean, it's a group of musketeers, plural with an S. So I boiled it down to a wolf versus a musketeer. Anyways, neither of them made the Final Four. The Final Four in the mascot matchup battle bracket is Tulsa, the Golden Hurricanes. As their name suggests, very little can get in their way, except for real life, where they'll probably lose relatively early. They're a 13 seed. Number 3, weather always plays well into the mascot brackets. The mascot brackets love weather. Iowa State Cyclones making it down here. At one point, there's a matchup of a Cyclone versus I think a Hawk or something. It's like, get real.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, come on.
Who wins gonna take the bird
Come
out
on. Why
every time?
Why did the NCAA even match it up like that? This one is kind of odd because this is not that this wouldn't be a powerful player, but they definitely favored from weaker mascots on the way to the Final Four. But the number 6 seed Baylor Bears. I have. Wow, did Baylor make it? Well, there's a sign for you. I didn't even notice this till now. Baylor made it to the Final Four in the coin flip bracket and the mascot bracket.
That's a sign.
Yeah, double check, not my real bracket. But anyways, so take that for what it's worth.
Not the $1 billion bracket.
And not my $1 billion bracket either. That's right. But Baylor, no, I wouldn't necessarily put a Bear strength-wise up against these bodies of weather and stuff. But when you look at the run they had to take for they where are they? Baylor, where are you, Baylor? Okay, a Cornhusker, okay, that's Baylor. They took on a Raging Cajun to get here, and the Bear won that. And it beat a Cougar, and then finally it beat a Cowboy. That was a tough one for me, a Bear versus a Cowboy.
The Cowboy can shoot.
Yeah, they can, but there was a lot of discussion involved in it and stuff. How often do people die of bear attacks with the technology we have at hand now versus the technology we had at hand then? Ultimately, we decided to give it to the Bear, and I don't regret it. Arizona State Sun Devils I also have, and at one point I had a Sun Devil against a Blue Devil, and that sent me into a bit of a moral crisis. But the Sun Devil ultimately took the win. Going to the national championship is the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes versus the Arizona State Sun Devils. This one caused me to lose a little bit of sleep. I went back and forth on it. I just couldn't make up my mind. And finally, I thought about it. The Sun Devil, where we're going him as like actual Satan, I don't feel like there's much weather that would really bother Satan. So I went with the Sun Devil as your national champion in the mascot bracket. And now I'm going to move over to my actual bracket featuring actual basketball actually being played. This was actually pretty tough. There's a lot of matchups here. For Buckeye fans out there, I have them losing in the second round. I'm sorry. And for people that want to be sticklers about it, the second round is not the round of 64. The second round is the round of 32. Those play-in games, that's not the first round. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you say. That is not a round. That is play-in. So there you go. Either way, though, I have Ohio State actually unfortunately losing in the second round to Syracuse, the Orange, who get hot and make a bit of a run, but they ultimately fall short in the South bracket to Kansas, who ends up winning the South and being that representative in the Final Four. I really like the Jayhawks this year. I usually do like the Jayhawks most years, honestly, and they usually don't give you a reason not to like them. But this year specifically, they've got Joel Embiid at center. They've got Andrew Wiggins. They've got a couple guys that are going to be big in the NBA, and I think are going to be big right now. Andrew Wiggins just had, just a few weeks ago had the game of his career so far, and he comes to this team as the number one recruit, and all of a sudden his own teammate Joel Embiid is starting to look like the top guy on his own team and possibly in the whole country. So I think that one was a pretty simple decision to put Kansas all the way into that corner. I really went old school for most of these. I have UNC also taking one of those Final Four spots. The 6th seed I have surviving all the way. And I actually have it coming down to, as I have a Michigan State UNC to determine who's going to win. And I don't trust the Big Ten this year. It was very inconsistent. I mean, Ohio State's beaten Michigan State this year. Did they not? I mean, at some point.
Beat them once, they lost once.
Exactly, and I just mean, if teams like Michigan State and Michigan are supposed to be so much above them, then how are they going to lose to them? And the Big Ten as a whole just seemed very inconsistent to me this year, so I don't really trust them, which is why I have UNC there. And I don't like Virginia as a 1 seed anyway, so I actually have them losing to Michigan State along the way. But anyway, so that's that's that half. On the other half, this is my favorite. This is my Cinderella. There are 3 seeds, so it's not much of a Cinderella. UNC on paper is more of a Cinderella, but this is the team I'm really pulling for outside of Ohio schools and everything like that. It is the Creighton Blue Jays with Doug McDermott, who is probably going to be the Player of the Year, the Wooden Award. Dougie Buckets, as he's called by some, not me, but some. He's the best scorer in the entire this level of the game right now. Period. At the Division I level. I mean, I don't know how that's going to transfer over to the NBA because the thing is he can score, but I think he's a power forward. And that's his natural position as a power forward. And I think who can he really? I mean, the guys he's going to have to play against in the NBA. Who's he really going to defend against? I mean, can he defend a Chris Bosh or a Kevin Love or something like that? I don't see that happening. But I think he could be a great bench player and a great spot scorer and shooter and everything like that. But either way, I have him at least at the college level kicking some serious ass and taking Creighton all the way to the Final Four. In the last spot in the Final Four, squaring off against Creighton, I have another one. I went old school. 3 of these I went pretty boring with 3 of my Final Four, because I rounded things out with Duke because Jabari Parker is another one of those guys who could be the best player in all of college basketball right now. There's him, Doug McDermott, Joel Embiid, and Andrew Wiggins, and that's about it. I mean, there's other great guys, no disrespect to the other guys, but I mean, it's those guys are sort of in a class of their own. And I have Jabari Parker actually leading them not only to the Final Four, but leading the Blue Devils past Creighton, the Blue Devils over the Blue Jays. That's interesting. All the way to the national championship, where I have Kansas getting past UNC and then getting past Duke to become your national champion. I have picked the Kansas Jayhawks as my 2014 NCAA national champion. You guys have an idea of how you're going Final Four wise yet?
I don't even have that team in the national championship game.
Really?
Nope.
Oh wow, that's interesting. But
I don't either, but that's just because I haven't finished my bracket.
all right, well, you
I'm
guys.
all finished. But
Oh, you're finished, Von Eric?
Oh, yeah.
All right, why don't you go ahead and share? I want to hear your Final Four and your championship game and your champion.
all right. Well, as far as Ohio State's concerned, I had them doing the exact same thing, losing out to Syracuse, but then Syracuse losing to Kansas, Kansas facing UCLA, beating UCLA, getting to the Final Four, facing Villanova, and then on the other bracket, the other side of things, the two teams I got is Oklahoma and Massachusetts.
You have UMass?
UMass.
Oh wow! All right,
UMass.
and who do you and who's
6 seed?
Yeah, well, I have a
Yes.
6 seed in my Final Four. I don't think it's going to be ones this year. I have no ones. I don't think any ones are going to get there. Maybe Florida, but I don't think so. And what's your national championship?
Villanova and Oklahoma.
Villanova, Oklahoma. Wow, that would be a bit of a surprise. And who's your national champion?
Villanova.
Wow, Villanova,
Okay.
national champion. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I think I have to go back and look at the archives, but I think I pick the Jayhawks every year, and I think I don't remember that every year. Like I feel like I had this moment of like realization right after I picked Kansas, and I'm like, haven't I done this before? But I don't know.
You kind of feel that with these brackets every year because you see the same teams year
Exactly.
after year
That are
after
the
year.
six-
I
They're
have,
good.
like I said, 3 of my Final Four. I have Kansas, I have UNC, and I have Duke. I mean, that's about as like you can chalk that in for next year. Honestly, if you want, this could easily, except for Creighton, this could be a bracket for next year. Honestly, although hopefully the Buckeyes are better by then. But you're absolutely right. It does. It's a little bothersome that that it works like that. And that's why one thing I love about when it comes to college level, what I love about college football is a team like Florida State. Who was looking at Florida State before the season started? Nobody. People that go to Florida State. That's it. I mean, that's it, and they go all the way and become national champions. Now teams like Alabama, and same with Auburn. Nobody had Auburn pegged to go to the national championship. Nobody thought it would be Florida State Auburn. Everybody thought it'd be Alabama and whoever Alabama wanted, and ultimately it didn't turn out that way. But still, they call it March Madness for a reason. It's I absolutely love the bracketology, the study of brackets. It's great stuff. Great stuff. Let's move. Let's shift gears a little bit, real quick. I want to talk some Browns because we are in the middle. Well, it's technically not the middle because it goes on for quite a while, but we are in the midst of NFL free agency. And the Browns have made quite the splash already since last we talked to you. And today marks a week. It's hard. It feels like free agency's been going on for forever. Kind
It
of.
does.
But today marks 1 week because it started on last Tuesday. So this is let me pull this up. I got a list of the Browns free agents, and they made some pretty good moves. Honestly, the biggest one probably would have to be the one that was the most recent, and that's, of course, the signing of Ben Tate.
Yeah.
Just this weekend. That's absolutely huge because the thing is, when I think of the other moves the Browns have made, which I have right here are the new arrivals, linebacker Carlos Dansby, tight end Jim Dre, obviously Ben Tate, defensive back Isaiah Trufant, and safety Dante Whitner. I look at the moves they've made. There is one other name you can pretty much add to that, is Andrew Hawkins, a slot receiver from Cincinnati. They signed him to an offer sheet, and the Bengals have a chance to match up to tomorrow. All sources indicating that the Bengals will not sign, which means the Browns have a newly acquired slot receiver. So that's pretty cool, too. But when you look at the moves the Browns have made, some moves are your typical free agent signings that are just, add depth. Jim Dre at tight end, he's not going to start. We know that. Maybe he'll see some minutes. I don't know exactly how good Jim Dre is, but I know it was a depth move. And the same with Isaiah Trufant from the Jets. There's an example of that guy. He played for Coach Pettin, so it's one of those bringing in the coach's guys, and it's one of those. He's going to play special teams. He's one of those, good move, but whatever. So the real big names here at first were Carlos Dansby and Dante Whitner, and the biggest thing about those is they fill a hole that was literally just made. Carlos Dansby comes in to replace DeQuell Jackson, who was cut about 2 weeks ago now, or so, 2-3 weeks. And Dante Whitner comes in to replace TJ Ward, who was just signed by the Broncos less than a week ago now. So these two guys come in and fill holes and even the Browns out basically to where they were. I think they're a little better, both of them, at least right now. I think TJ Ward has a higher ceiling, but I think health is an issue for him, and I think Dante Whitner is better at this moment. But, we'll see what happens. And I love the Carlos Dansby move because as much as I like DeQuell Jackson, to be honest, he led the team in tackles, but those tackles were all kind of downfield a little bit. I mean, he wasn't putting pressure on the quarterback, and he wasn't really stopping the run. I mean, he was sort of just waiting for the other team to come to him. But, which is useful thing to have on your team, but the numbers don't match up to what he really did. But either way, those were filling holes that were just recently made. What I love about the Ben Tate move is this isn't filling a hole per se. It is filling a hole, but this is the first one that's really adding to the team, not recovering, not recuperating or anything like that. This is you could say he's replacing Trent Richardson, but he's really not because Trent was gone already. That wasn't going to change. But he comes in and is immediately better than any running back that we have on the team, and it's an immediate improvement. What I'm curious about is where's Willis McGahee? Is he a free agent? Oh, there we go. He's a currently unsigned free agent by the Browns, and my guess would be currently unsigned will continue for quite some time. The Browns making other moves besides just adding free agents. They lost O'Neal Cousins. Not that they were really trying to go after him. They cut DeQuell Jackson, obviously. They lost Sean Lauvau. That was insane. The amount of money he got, I believe it was close to $17 million from the Washington Redskins when nobody in this town or franchise wanted the guy. And Washington does what Washington does, and they overpay free agents. Also, the biggest name on the cutting room floor is Brandon Weeden. No longer a Cleveland Brown. As of today, actually, a Dallas Cowboy. That's exciting, isn't it? He was cut as well as Jason Campbell, as well as, obviously, Devon Best. All gone from the team. Actually, Jason Campbell and Brandon Weeden were cut from the team within about a half an hour from each other, which means the only quarterback on this Browns roster is Brian Hoyer. So take that for what it's worth. That means if the season started tomorrow, he's guaranteed the starter, right? No competition. So
I enjoyed the Facebook comment that someone made. I don't know if it was your page or the High on Sports page.
That was my personal one.
But,
yes.
Watch the Cowboys win the Super Bowl now with Brandon Weeden, kind of like a former quarterback for the Browns, Bernie Kosar did the season right after he left, because as far as beloved quarterbacks in the Cleveland area, Brandon Weeden and Bernie Kosar are pretty much neck and neck.
There is Brandon Weeden and there's Bernie Kosar, and that's about it. That's cream of the crop right there. That's pretty much it. So it'll be interesting to see how the Browns go from here. Wide receiver is still a need. James Jones of the Packers today signing with the Raiders. Ted Ginn signed away already. A lot of Golden Tate, now a Lion. Doesn't look like there's much room for the Browns to make any major splash at the number 2 receiver spot, leading many, like myself, to believe that this could potentially leave the door open for number 4, taking Sammy Watkins out of Clemson, but there is still 52 freaking days between now and the draft. Although I'll tell you this, listeners, anyone out there that's a major draft like me, we always share, leading up to the draft, we share a mock draft, each week, and we will be starting that in April. The first show we have in April, we're going to start doing it, And that'll be fun. Mock draft every week, and I'll try to find different ones, and not every one that constantly has the Browns taking Sammy Watkins. It's getting harder and harder to find drafts now that don't have the Browns taking Sammy Watkins at 4. So, by that logic, it means the Browns absolutely won't take Sammy Watkins at 4. I actually saw a mock draft today, interestingly enough. I saw a mock draft today that had the Browns taking at 4 Teddy Bridgewater. Oof. And it suggested they would take Teddy Bridgewater because it's the one name they haven't been attached to. That was the whole basis. And it's like, you actually wrote this article and you posted it. And like, it wasn't on a blog or something. It was on a sports website. It was like, that's your thinking? Well, I've heard them rumored to be with Blake Bortles, and I've heard them rumored to be with Johnny Manziel, so must be Bridgewater. It's genius. It's absolutely brilliant. A big name floating around right now for the Browns, by the way, is Matt Schaub out of Houston. Latest out of that is because Schaub actually still isn't a free agent. He's still technically under contract with the Houston Texans. The latest rumor is that the Texans are trying to trade him, and the interested teams right now currently being the Browns and the Oakland Raiders. So we'll see how that plays out. But you and I were talking about this a little bit, Ashley. I wouldn't be opposed to Schaub actually coming in here.
Wouldn't at all.
I think what would be especially interesting is having a Schaub and Hoyer go at it for that starting role. Still take a quarterback late, a developmental guy, and then we see where we are. Worry about the rest of the team instead of quarterback. We got 52 days to talk about that. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, you're going to find out what's urinating us off, and we're going to break down the Indians' third base battle. It is getting hot and harder to decide, so you're going to want to check that out. We will be right back with more High on Sports.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. User friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on MorningShowCentral.com. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at MorningShowCentral.com.
MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following.
This bowel movement won't come out. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
I can almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. Pete 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic, made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com.
Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. Pete 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768.
I know, oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more. And almost taste Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Oh, great. Not another Farm Bill request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Morning Show Central. Denying one Farm Bill request at a time.
Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
And this is High on Sports. Remember, you can call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. Find us on Twitter at high_on_sports. I am at eRalphieW. He is at Von Erich. And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/High on Sports.
I like the James Bond music.
I know, right? I feel like I'm about to kill James Bond or kill a bad guy from James Bond. Either way, I'm just a part of it, and it feels good. HighOnSports.net is the website. It's got the archive of all our past shows, Mark's blog, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Again, that is HighOnSports.net. And just to show that this show is all about open communication and everything, to Von Erich's friend that texted him, the Browns have signed Andrew Hawkins to the offer sheet, obviously, earlier this week. The Bengals are not expected to match the deal. However, they have until tomorrow. So tomorrow, we will get official word on whether or not Andrew Hawkins will be a Brown, although it is highly expected that he will be. Got a jam-packed show for you. Let's go right into it. It is round 2. Let's go. I didn't say a word. I think I said, like, God, I just got excited and I was like, ah! Anyways, it's time for a staple of High on Sports, and that is, of course, what's urinating us off. And we are going to start and end with Von Erich. Von Erich, why don't you tell us? You got one from not exactly north of the border, but north of the border in that it's hockey. So why don't you take it away?
Since I'm the only urinating off, I guess there won't be much urination at all, because this is the time where, I do it about once a month or so. Something that's not urinating me off.
Whoa, urinating you on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting urinated on. We'll just put it that way, I guess. But this was a hockey fight, minor league, semi-pro, whatever you want to call it. And we got a video of that, and we'll just watch the fight, and I'll tell you what's...
That's a very good boxing stance by that guy in the white.
Isn't it, though? All right, we ready to play that, Chris?
Just a couple of random dudes in a hockey fight. That's all.
No audio, all right?
No audio? All right, here we go. And there we go. All right, they're probably just going to talk it out, honestly.
Yeah, that's the way it looks.
They're like, hey, man, listen, I don't like you and you don't like me, but we're here to play a game.
What kind of...
Whoa!
Oh, there it goes!
Whoa.
Wow, that was intense. I think, is it over?
It's a short video. It's less than a minute and a half. They definitely start going, as you can see.
There we go.
The fist.
Yeah, fisticuffs.
Nothing but just fist to the dome of each other.
Oh, guy in the
Wow, nice. I thought he was like out, and then
I know he was getting wailed on, and then he threw one in there.
It just shows kids out there. It's not.
That's an uppercut to the chin. I know that hurt.
Look at the referees just standing there. Could you imagine that in another sport?
They would have been broken up 10 minutes ago.
You know what this fight shows you, kids out there? I want you to be watching this because it's not how many times you hit someone; it's where and how hard.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hockey fights are just weird because they hold on to each other.
And then, every fight that's not in a movie, it ends with a hug.
Yeah, because if they fall down, they can kind of die because then the other person can.
That was a haymaker he just did.
Yeah.
Oh, and they keep going. And the best part is
This is
the
a long
very
fight.
end of the fight, and it's coming up.
Do they hug it out? Hey, high five!
That's good.
That was awesome.
It's the ultimate display of sportsmanship in the day and age of multi-million-dollar contracts and egos of sports players going through the roof.
That is better.
You don't see that.
No, that's awesome. That's beautiful.
We just beat each other's asses. High five.
That's better than literally every single fight that ever happened in all of UFC, MMA, whatever other things they're calling it. Better than all.
I'm sorry though. If I'm fighting you, I'm not high fiving you. I'm punching you until you're not punching back.
I'm all Hulkamania at that point.
Yeah. Right? Because, if you punch me in the face, I don't care if we're just on a hockey and it's just what you do. I don't care if I'm a boxer and it's what we do. If you punch me in the face, you're going to piss me off and I'm no longer ever going to like you.
I'm out on most things I do after Hulk Hogan.
So I give them credit because I'm not high-fiving you after I just got punched in the face. Granted, I punched you in the face back many times.
Absolutely.
I'm still not high-fiving you.
It's cool. There was no winner. It would be one thing. It was like,
I think they both just got tired of swinging.
They're both like, God damn, man, I don't have it in me to throw a punch.
I'll give them that.
They're there for. As soon as someone falls, they break it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why they hold each other up.
They don't want somebody to get stomped on with the skates.
Yeah, that could kill you.
Somebody got murdered like that on CSI once. It was terrible.
It was the hockey episode.
It was the hockey episode. It was. It was. You must have seen it.
Well, I was just guessing, but
I know. Well, thank you, Von Erich. This is, you know what? There's no venom in us today. It's just, it's a glorious day. It's a good day. Baseball's just about to be here. Draft only 52 days away, so that's like tomorrow. Like I said, Indians about to start. Next week's show is gonna be, that's the start of baseball. Next week's show, we'll be on air. We'll finish. We'll all go home, and then we'll stay up late. We'll stay up late and we'll watch baseball. And that is what we're doing. We are gonna. This is internet radio history for us, not actual other internet radio.
I think it's pretty much history.
You're right. This is history. We're
I've never seen it done before.
We're the new Abraham Lincolns. This is history in the making here. We are going to be doing, anyone listening that is in our High on Sports Fantasy Baseball Draft, which, by the way, there is one spot left in our High on Sports Fantasy Baseball League. One precious spot
You want a shot at dethroning Von Erich? Though I'm pretty sure it's going to be me.
And if you want it,
because I'm the second place runner-up,
send us an email to highonsports@gmail.com. It is a very simple email. It is the name of the show you're watching with @gmail.com. highonsports@gmail.com. Just say, I want in. And from there, dude, that's how you will reserve your spots. We don't have to worry about multiple people coming to us at once or anything like that. You and a buddy both send an email right now. Whichever one gets to us faster, that's your spot. Enjoy it.
First come, first serve.
Exactly. Once we get this last spot, we are not going to be expanding the league at all. There is a few, not many, and that includes you two, that haven't actually claimed their team yet. And if you're like the 11th guy, we'll put you in sort of a reserve thing where if somebody doesn't claim their team close enough to the draft, you could you're like an alternate. Although you won't be alternating for either of these two because they're going to do it. They're going to claim it.
Yeah.
But the point is, if you are part of that league, or if you're just listening to the show, next week's show, we just decided this today, we will be doing the Fantasy Baseball Draft live on air on the show. We're going to be breaking down the picks live as they happen. When some dude at home makes his pick and it's terrible, we're going to mention it on air and mock you. And when I pick something that's brilliant and inspired, I'm going to just go on about how great I am the rest of the show, and it's going to be awful. It's going to happen on air. This is going to be really fun, or a total disaster. But either way, it's going to be really fun. I'm totally pumped. This is going to be really good. Again, that is next week's show. It's our big baseball special. We're also going to talk some Tribe, and I think at the very least, we're going to be making our World Series predictions. I think it's going to be an entirely baseball show next week. The whole format's going to just be on its head. It's going to be all baseball all day, and it's going to be a great thing.
Well, I'll have to show up for sure.
Oh yeah, you'll have to come this week.
Oh man,
I was thinking I was just gonna skip, but I'll actually have to come in now. Anyways, let's talk some baseball. Actually, while we're here, we've been doing this for I guess 2 weeks now, breaking down Indians roster positions that are actually still open. And there's not many left. We mostly know the roster, but last week we discussed who we thought would be the 5th starter. And this week we're going to follow this up by breaking down the hot corner, a battle between Lonnie Chisenhall and Carlos Santana. And we will start with our resident baseball pundit, Von Erich. Von Erich, what are your thoughts on the battle at third base?
How Indians management wanted so hard for Chisenhall to win this spot. For years now, they've just been plugging him there. Oh, it's Lonnie Chisenhall's. That's his spot, third base. It's going to be Chisenhall. That's nothing, that we haven't heard before in the past few years. But with a guy like Santana, he's still, not even 30 years old yet. He's not going to be catching anymore. You don't need him at first base. You can't have a 20-some-year-old designated hitter. That just doesn't happen in the American League. So you got to plug him somewhere, too. You need his bat. And besides putting him in the outfield, there's not really anywhere else to put him. So third base belongs to Carlos Santana. Chisenhall, they tried. They really tried for the past few years. And I think the days of them wanting to give a younger guy a shot for a few years are over, especially with Terry Francona taking over, and he's not going to put up for that kind of stuff. So goes to Santana. Easy pick.
Really? Well, now, here, I want to ask you this, though, because something I've thought about is because I think what makes this interesting is an injury that happened to someone who's already very brittle, is Jason Giambi at DH. Jason Giambi most likely won't be ready for the start of the year, which leaves that DH spot open, which in my mind, personally, I believe that makes Carlos Santana the ideal candidate to open, game 1 in Oakland in the middle of the friggin' night as our designated hitter, which leaves that spot available for Lonnie Chisenhall, I think. But again, like you said, I really feel like the Indians, they just want him to win because this would be so much easier if Lonnie can actually do it. But my question, though, is if Lonnie does do it, if he somehow pulls this out of his ass and he keeps third base, do you think it takes a toll on Santana? Do you think it takes a toll on a guy in general, I should say, to not have a position per se? Because he would basically go down in the books as DH, third base, first base, catcher. I mean, which he already kind of is. But I mean, do you think it takes a toll on a guy to not have this is my position, this is my spot, I own this, I'm this guy? You know what I mean? Do you think that takes a toll on a player as the season
With a
goes
guy
on?
like Santana, I would say no, because I don't think he cares as long as he's in the lineup.
Yeah, I don't think
as
he cares
long
about
as he
defense
can,
at all.
No, not at all. As long as he's in that batting order, in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, maybe 6th or whatever spot, he's happy. As long as he plays every day batting, whether it's at DH or first base, third base, catcher, because in all honesty, they could throw him anywhere in that lineup or in that defensive position on any given day. Jan Gomes is struggling a little bit. Throw Santana behind the plate.
Worth noting, by the way, it's hard to come by spring numbers because most websites don't even really record them. But I have, through the first 9 games, Chisenhall was playing to the tune of a batting average of 308. So there's that.
He would have to bat 800. Really, I don't think that's
fair point. Fair point. I just think the biggest thing here to me, like I said, is this Jason Giambi injury. And
but they
when
could
did
do
they
the
get
same
him
thing
back?
they did last year and make it DH by committee. Like whoever's not in the field that day, throw him. Like that could make an extra spot for a guy like Francoeur.
That's true. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of guys like Niger Morgan. Is Niger Morgan going to make this squad? I mean, it'd be interesting if he does. Is Jeff Francoeur going to make this squad? There's guys out there, these veterans that, do they still have something left in the tank? And it's really, really going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. And I think the best part is with the Indians right now is like always, it's the future that looks the most intriguing. How's Danny Salazar going to go? I mean, he looks like he could have top of the line, top of the order stuff. Another guy, Trevor Bauer. How's it going to, when is he going to figure this out?
Another guy that has potentially top of the rotation
exactly
stuff.
Exactly. And I mean, I could go on. Francisco Lindor is going to get here. Tyler McQuinn. There's a lot.
And that could open up all kinds of possibilities. Say Lindor just plays well beyond his potential, and they got to get rid of Asdrubal. They trade him for whatever. That could be anything that they need.
There's, at the very least, this is a very flexible team, if nothing else. And more on the Indians, obviously, next week, as it will be our baseball special. But for now, this is 3 up, 3 down time. Down number 3, Tigers shortstop Jose Iglesias announced today he has a stress fracture, in both of his shins. Could cause him to miss all of 2014, although he vows he'll play this year. We'll see. Down number 2, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kyrie Irving suffered a bicep injury that, according to several sources, could be season-ending, but it was just announced right before we came back on air that he will be shut down for 2 weeks. Not good to hear that, but better than season-ending. But the Cavs just 4 games out, and they're about to play host to the Miami Heat, so we'll see how that goes. And down number 1, Colts owner Jim Irsay just this morning pulled over for a DWI, and now he faces 4 counts of felony possession of a controlled substance. Despite my Googling, I cannot find the substance. I'm going to go with cocaine. Uptime, number 3, New England Patriots. They landed star corner Darrelle Revis after he was reportedly contacted by a staggering 26 teams during his free agency day. Up number 2, Jabari Parker, the star Duke forward, won the Wayman Tisdale Award for the country's best freshman. And up number 1, it's a 4-way tie. Florida, Arizona, Virginia, and Wichita State. They are your March Madness number 1 seeds. All right, that's going to do it for us. So for Chris, for Von Erich, for Ashley, I'm Ralphie saying good night, everybody. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for tuning in to High on Sports on MorningShowCentral.com.